Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For the Premier.
Yesterday, her Minister of Health was unable to answer who should be responsible for oversight of the prepackaged drugs that were brought into our hospital. We now know that this process of outsourcing of drug preparation has been happening for 5 years. It would seem that 5 years is a long time and that no one has been in charge of quality control or regulation. I would like to know, will the Premier come clean and admit to Ontarians that 5 years is a long time for her Ministry of Health to fail in their fundamental responsibility of oversight? 5 years is a long time to be asleep at the wheel.
Mr. Speaker, I know the Minister of Health will want to answer on the supplementary, but I want to just be clear that a gap has been identified. A gap has been identified, Mr. Speaker, and it is unacceptable to me, it is unacceptable to our government, and it is unacceptable to everyone in this legislature, Mr. Speaker, that such a gap should exist, that this should have happened, and that people should have been put at risk. It should never have happened. We acknowledge that, Mr. Speaker. That is why we've taken action immediately, as soon as we realized, as soon as we found out, as soon as the Minister of Health knew that there was a gap. We've put in place the experts, Mr. Speaker. We've put in place an interim solution, which is the College of Pharmacists have agreed to play this role, Mr. Speaker. But it shouldn't have happened. We acknowledge that, and we need to learn and rectify the situation, Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What we are seeing in Ontario is a terrifying pattern. In order to save money, a hospital decides to outsource a vital program, a vital service, to a private sector. But it never occurs to this government that checks and balance should be in place to ensure that quality is maintained. Ontarians are still grappling with corporal excess at Orange, at eHealth, and it seems to be becoming a familiar story. A for-profit private company profits while quality of care to the people of Ontario suffers. Why should the patient, why should Ontarians believe that this government will finally do their job?
Question. Thank you, Premier.
Minister of Health and Long-Term Care.
Minister of Health and Long-Term Care.
Speaker, as the member opposite knows, we have appointed Dr. Jake Thiessen to really review what happened in this situation, so that we can not only address the issues raised in this particular situation, but that we look at the whole supply chain of our cancer drugs to ensure that all of the right checks and balances are in place. I think it is important that in our healthcare system, and the member opposite is part of our healthcare system, Speaker, she understands this, every healthcare system is continually working to improve quality. When an issue arises, it is incumbent upon all of us to identify the problem, fix the problem, look and make sure that there's nothing else in the system that must be fixed. That work is now well underway. And so we will continue that work. It is an important responsibility and one I take very seriously.
Thank you. Final supplementary.
Thank you, Speaker. Well, the review that the Minister talks about is only looking at what has already gone wrong. But the more we learn, the more questions we have. If it happens to chemotherapy drugs, what assurance do Ontarian patients have that it has not already happened to other prepackaged outsourced drugs in other fields of medicine? Speaker, Ontarians have lost faith in their government's basic ability to provide oversight, to oversee our healthcare system so that it is safe for us to trust. They want assurance that only an independent third party can give them. They want the assurance that if they complain to the Ombudsman, this government will grant the Ombudsman oversight of our hospital system.